In addition to shortages of weapons and artillery in its war with Russia, Ukraine faces a critical manpower problem. Its troops are weary after more than 2 years of fighting. Tens of thousands have been grievously wounded, and the military is struggling to replenish ranks. On our recent trip to Ukraine, producer Sam Lane and I reported on both of those challenges. For 22-year-old soldier Ivan Kovalik, these small steps are a huge leap forward in his recovery. Last September, on the front lines in eastern Ukraine, he was picking up equipment with a fellow soldier and was hit in a Russian strike.
It was a small projectile, but it flew right at us. It just happened to find us.
It took 3 excruciating hours to evacuate Kovalik.
To be honest, I don't remember much. I was in and out of consciousness. My friends tried to cheer me up so I didn't fall asleep.
By the time he received treatment, both legs needed to be amputated. About a month ago, he received a coveted and rare spot here at the Superhuman Center in the western region of Lviv. Superhumans launched in April of 2023, providing free care to Ukrainians wounded in the war. Custom prosthetics, specialized rehabilitation services, psychological treatment, and most recently, reconstructive surgery. More than 400 patients have received care here, over 560 prosthetics distributed. They now average about 70 new patients a month, though thousands apply for a spot.
When I first got here, I immediately felt a good, cheerful atmosphere. I knew everyone was a specialist in their field. I trusted them completely.
So how are the new legs working out?
Beautiful.
Beautiful?
Yeah.
What can you do now? What are you working on?
All.
Everything.
I can walk, I can write with my friends, I can study.
Everything you used to do before?
Yes.
Vitaly Marchenko has worked as a physical therapist for years, but the injuries coming to Superhumans are unlike any he's ever treated.
This is really a completely different category that requires a lot of knowledge. Ukraine wasn't ready for this kind of rehabilitation before the war. That's why I'm here. It's difficult seeing what my fellow countrymen are going through, but I understand I'm using my strengths to make sure their rehabilitation happens quickly and effectively.
There are an estimated 20,000 amputees in Ukraine today as a result of Russia's war. Ukraine is also now the most heavily mined country on the planet. By the end of the year, there could be some 50,000 Ukrainians in need of prosthetics.
The demand is growing, and since the war has not stopped, we will always have to deal with certain shortage.
Svetlana Kutsenko is the head of mental health rehabilitation at Superhumans.
When they get their injuries, it's not only about their bodies, it's also the image of their body that they lose and the feeling that they are capable of doing things they are used to do. Our task is to help them to accept their new body image. The second focus is that we should enable them, show them that they are still capable of many other things that they can do in their lives, and that this is not the end.
Russia has intensified its air campaign in recent months and is reportedly preparing for another offensive in late spring or summer. Beleaguered Ukrainian forces hope that a $60 billion U.S. aid package will help. But no amount of money can solve one of Kyiv's biggest problems, a shortage of fighters. A Ukrainian military commander on the Eastern Front recently said his troops were outnumbered by as many as 10 to 1. Last month, President Volodymyr Zelensky signed measures aimed at bolstering the ranks, including lowering the draft age from 27 to 25. For Alexei Milashenko, that means contemplating a different future. The Kyiv-based real estate agent turns 24 soon. Thousands of young men before him fled Ukraine to avoid conscription. When you think about if you were called up and you had to join the military, how different would your life in the military be from your daily life right now?
Of
course it will be different.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Have you thought about that? About what it would look like and feel like?
Yeah, I'm sure. I think you feel a bit afraid, a bit cold, and maybe noisy, especially noisy.
But he says he has no plans to leave, nor do his friends.
Of course I'm afraid. It's normal in my opinion. Only stupid persons are not afraid. But if it will be our duty and it's time to go, then time to go.
Superhuman Svetlana Kutsenko says many young Ukrainians coming of age in the war will view their future through a different lens than generations past.
This is the generation that grew up knowing that you have to fight for your freedom and you have to fight for your identity. But once it's obtained in a fight, it's valued much more than anything else.
When Ivan Kovalik first arrived at Superhumans, he was told he'd need a year to walk without crutches. He did it in just a month.
I
said, when, if not now? Let's try it. Even if it doesn't work, it'll be my little attempt. So it's not perfect yet, but I'll keep improving.
He says, if allowed, he wants to return to the military to teach new soldiers about perseverance even after a loss.
A lot of people won't understand how you can be so optimistic about your future when you've been through so much at such a young age. What would you say to them?
I've always been cheerful, but when I got a second chance at life, I decided I would live it to the fullest. There's no reason to be sad. These are my same legs, just a little different.